What's good, combat sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It with your host, Bando, and I am here to break down this bantamweight matchup this weekend between Petr Yan and Deiveson Figueiredo, so I'm not going to waste no time. Let's get right into it. Let's go. So, actually, surprisingly, in a few hours from now, right, because it's an early morning matchup. I forgot exactly where it's at, but it's an early morning matchup for the people on my side. But Deiveson Figueiredo has got the biggest matchup of his bantamweight career in Petr Yan. Why do I say that? This is number one contender potential right here. No doubt in my mind. If Deiveson Figueiredo can get this win, he is number one contender, right? That's a quick rise in the bantamweight division. He's a former champion in the flyweight division, so it's hard to argue, right? Surprisingly, coming in at the last time I checked, it might be different now, but last time I checked, he was a plus 245 underdog, which is, it's not bad, but I thought this fight would be just a little bit more even. Maybe the odds are a little bit more even now, but this is stylistically going to be a insane technical matchup. These two dudes can strike to the max, right? They're fantastic strikers. Both got power in their hands, right? And then when it comes to the ground game, very durable on the ground. I think Deiveson Figueiredo is a much more dangerous submission artist, I would say. But then Petr Yan has got the strength. He's good at scrambling out, getting out of certain positions. But the one position I don't think that Petr Yan is good at getting out of is when somebody has his back. And the reason I say that, you take it back to Aljamain Sterling too. Aljo got his back twice and backpacked him for at least 2 to 3 minutes in that round. So it's one of those things where if Deiveson Figueiredo gets your back, that could be an issue. Deiveson Figueiredo is slick and he's strong. He's very strong. Now, obviously we know Deiveson Figueiredo's got tons of power in his hands, being the first guy in the bantamweight division to knock down Marlon Vera, right? Marlon Vera got hit with a bomb knee to the face and still didn't go down, right? So it's pretty wild to see that Deiveson Figueiredo pops up from 125 at 135 and is cracking dudes. And he may do it against Petr Yan. Petr Yan's known to have a pretty good chin, known to be able to stand in the pocket and trade. He's got some of the best MMA style boxing you could possibly have. He's got good footwork. He's got amazing kicks. He's got good switches. He's consistently switching stances. If you go back to watching that Sean O'Malley fight, right, he would switch his stance and then end up cracking Sean, right? There was that one moment in the second round, I think, where he really, really pinged Sean up. Just off of a stance switch, because some simple things like that sometimes can just throw a guy off, especially when they're really trying to, judge the range and everything like that, get their distance set up. They're trying to size you up and you're switching stances. That's throwing people off. And I think that's one of the reasons why, if you look at boxing, Terrence Crawford is so good. He's one of the only guys who consistently switches his stance and he brings it from both sides. When you can do that in the fight game, it's always going to help. It's always going to benefit you, right? Especially if you're already a good striker. And Petr Yan is top tier. Petr Yan truly is a top tier striker. He went over to Tiger Muay Thai. He used to train at Tiger Muay Thai, trained with Volk, trained with Dan Hooker, all those guys at Tiger Muay Thai. And Tiger Muay Thai, if you're hip, it's not somewhere you just travel out to whatever, Thailand or whatever, and go train. No, it doesn't work that way. You got to try out just to train in that gym, which is pretty impressive. But Petr Yan's Muay Thai, kickboxing, his boxing, and even his grappling, all top tier. But he cannot make any mistakes if the fight does go to the ground, because I do see Deiveson Figueiredo being the better opponent on the ground. And I know a lot of people are going to be surprised at that. Like there's a part of me, you know me, I always give like 2 predictions for the main event because I'm so indecisive. Truly, like, I don't want to steer anybody wrong if they're placing bets and stuff like that. And at the same time, I rather show the knowledge on each end. Like, I know if this person wins, they're going to win like this. If this person wins, they're going to win like this. I feel like if you give knowledge on each end, it's a little bit better than just coming out and having just one straight up opinion. Like, oh, I think, boom, this person's going to win like this, right? It's very possible to have just that automatic outcome like that, but I don't like doing it like that. I like having to, look at both aspects. Either way, if someone wins this, how is it going to be? So in my opinion, if Petr Yan wins this fight, it's because he outboxed, outlanded, and outstruck Deiveson Figueiredo for 5 rounds, right? In similarities to Brandon Moreno, right? And I think if this fight goes past 3, Petr Yan's gas tank is way better than Deiveson Figueiredo's, in my opinion. Even though 135 Deiveson Figueiredo doesn't have to cut all that weight, makes a big difference. But I think Petr Yan's got the better gas tank. So if this fight goes past 3, I'm leaning Petr Yan by decision. Now, if you're talking about a finish, I'm leaning in Deiveson Figueiredo's favor. If he was to knock Petr Yan out, it wouldn't shock me. Because like I said, this year has been crazy. I said it for the last pay-per-view that I broke down. This year has genuinely been a little insane. So anything can happen. The chins have been getting cracked. Petr Yan's known to have a chin. Deiveson Figueiredo's known to have a mean right hand. Anything's possible, but I think if the finish is going to come, it's going to come from Deiveson Figueiredo on the ground. I know we've seen him get submitted on the ground before, but he got submitted by Brandon Moreno after a few rounds, and he got gassed out. It's one of those things where if he is on point and can get to Petr Yan early, before they're slippery and stuff like that, it could be tough. It could be tough. Truthfully. I mean, Aljamain Sterling stood on Petr Yan's back and stayed on his back for 3+ minutes, right, with Petr Yan without doing anything, right? Other positions that they were in on the ground, Petr Yan was able to scramble out. That specific position could be a problem, but we'll see what happens. I don't have an official prediction for that one. If you're looking for what I'm betting on, I'm actually placing a bet on Deiveson Figueiredo by submission. I just feel like it is a possibility. So I guess if that was a prediction, that would be my prediction right there, maybe. But I can still see Petr Yan by decision being the main way to go, the main route to go and rock that way, because that's probably the safest bet you can bet by Petr Yan by decision. Now, and that's crazy to say, because sometimes my man does not get those decisions. He does not get gifted the decisions if the fight is close. He's got to make sure the fight is not close. And the other thing, too, if you look at Petr Yan's takedown defense, right, Deiveson Figueiredo has to find different and trickier ways to get this fight to the ground than just shooting for a takedown, because Petr Yan's going to stuff that. He just has to find a different way, maybe from a clinch position, something, maybe a trip, a sweep, I don't know. But if this fight somehow ends up on the ground, I got Deiveson Figueiredo, but on the feet for 5 rounds, Petr Yan pieces him up. And that's my prediction for that fight. You also have, like, just a quick mention, you got Tabitha Ricci in her biggest fight of her career so far as well, going up against Yan Xiaonan. It's a very important matchup because, you got one coming off of a title fight, right? Obviously lost, couldn't get the win, but coming off a title fight. So for Tabitha Ricci, if she can go in there and get a finish over Yan Xiaonan, that is major. That is major. That's speaking huge volumes to the division, because you need to know where people are in this division. If you start doing MMA math a little bit and you're like, okay, Yan Xiaonan took her 5, but then Tabitha Ricci went in there and finished Yan Xiaonan. Can Tabitha Ricci put on a better fight against Weili Zhang than Yan Xiaonan did? That's how the math goes. So very big, important matchup for her. I think she can get it done. I do think she can get it done, but she just has to be careful, because if Yan is on, it's a problem. I got one parlay, right? So I got my main bet with the Deiveson Figueiredo thing, but my one parlay is both of the Yans, Petr Yan and Yan Xiaonan. I just think if Yan Xiaonan is on, it's very, very difficult to stop her. I mean, Weili Zhang is just that next level, right? I don't think Tabitha Ricci is that next level. If anything, I think she's a level below Yan Xiaonan, but this is her chance to show that she can battle at the higher levels and stuff like that. I'm very interested in that fight. A very interesting co-main event. It's a good co-main event, but I'm very interested in that. And the other matchup that I feel is a really important matchup that should be talked about is the light heavyweight matchup. You got Volkan Ozdemir going up against Carlos Ulberg. For both men, right? important matchup, important fight. Obviously, Carlos Ulberg coming in as the bigger favorite in this fight. I think he's like a minus 240 favorite, which is understandable. He's been on a tear. He's been knocking guys out left and right. He's been doing his thing in the division. He's really making statements. But Volkan Ozdemir had a fantastic last fight against Johnny Walker. Got him out of there quick. Finished him quick. Made a huge statement. Can he keep riding that wave? We'll see. Last time he was knocking people out like that, he rode the wave a little bit. Let's see if he can do it. But this is a very, very tough matchup against Carlos Ulberg. I'm definitely leaning with Carlos Ulberg. I just think the striking is levels above it, and I also think his distance management is very good, and he cracks hard. So I think it's going to be a tough night for Volkan Ozdemir. But it is an important matchup, and it is a fun matchup. So there's other fights, obviously, on this card, but I'm not going to get into doing a full breakdown because this card is at 6 a.m. So I don't even feel like a lot of people that are going to see this video are even going to end up watching the fights. So that is it for this breakdown. So you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out, because your boy is about to go record that now. So make sure, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I'll catch you on the next episode. Your boy Bando's out. Peace. Bitch.